Can you imagine being $120,000 in credit card debt? Just credit card debt, not even including your mortgage, just credit card debt. That was Carmen and I 4 years ago.
Yep.
Fast forward to today, we are financially free. My name is Darius.
And I'm Carmen. In this video, we want to share with you how to go from zero to hero by using your mindset, discipline, and execution. So let's jump in, shall we?
Now, we're not going to talk about how you can go from zero to hero. We're just going to tell you how we did it. The reason being
Disclaimer.
is everybody's journey is different, and how you get to where you are currently is different from how we got to $120,000 worth of credit card debt.
Yeah.
So the very first thing that we want to...
Well, let me give a little bit of background real quick.
That's what I was getting ready to do.
You go ahead.
No, you got it.
Well, what I wanted to say was, because very quickly people can go, you silly people. Yeah, I didn't want to say that. You silly people.
We felt like idiots looking at it.
How would you do that? And the reason why this happened is because in our 20s, we were making a lot of money and we didn't understand finances. We didn't understand how to properly use our salaries. We thought that we were supposed to be using credit cards. We were supposed to have debt and do these things. And
it got out of hand.
It got out of hand and we were ignorant, right? So what this catapulted into $120,000 in credit card debt. So yeah, it sounds a little funny, but I just wanted to share that tidbit.
Okay.
But once we recognized it, we did something about it. Go ahead. Your turn.
Okay. So the very first thing that we realized is that we needed a plan. And when we put this plan together, what we had to do is we had to put all of our expenses down on one place. And that's when we realized that we were spending almost $2,000 just in interest for all this debt. And when you think about it, when we look at our income, if we were able to save $2,000, we would really be in a better financial position than if we were just spending it on credit cards.
Yep.
So we had to figure out a plan to how we get from point A, spending interest, to point B, saving the interest we were spending.
And hence, let's fast forward too, because with all of this knowledge, it allowed us to have a successful business and teaching people what not to do with your finances.
Yeah.
So very first point, what I want to talk about is mindset. And this isn't to be all woo-woo about it. This is to be literal. Like for those of you who are watching this video, you clicked on this video for a reason. It's because you're looking for resources. And when you're looking for resources, you've already clicked it into gear and develop the mindset that you need help. You need to figure out something to do. And we're speaking to you because it was us who rose our hand and said, hey, we got to figure out what to do. We don't know what to do, but we got to start calling people. We need to start doing research and figuring out how can we make the situation better. That's what I'm talking about with mindset is we woke up and said, we are sick of doing this. We got to change what we got going on. So again, for those of you who feel that way, continue watching this video because you are ready. You stood up and you said, let's get busy.
Yeah, and that's a really good point because we didn't keep it a secret that we needed financial help. A lot of times what people, they feel a certain type of way raising their hand saying that I need help. How will anyone help you if they don't know that you need it?
Yeah, but it's in our culture, right? And in the United States, it is taboo to talk about your finances. And we got to the point where we said, if we want to stay in this marriage, if we want to live long lives, we got to start raising our hand and figure out what's going on because the stress that it was causing us was worse than not doing anything about it, right?
Yeah, and financial stress is a big thing for not just us, but for a lot of people.
Oh, the world,
and
yeah.
What we realize in this journey is not only is it stressful, but we have the ability to help ourselves. We had the ability to help ourselves because it wasn't that we weren't making enough money. It's just that we were mismanaging the money that we had. Reason being is we were able to afford those payments.
Exactly.
It didn't feel good, but we were able to afford those payments.
That's such a good point because again, what we had to do was just small tweaks and just small pivots once we started to understand the systems and what we needed to do. So that's why it's important for you to understand this in this video that you may not have to completely just what's the word? Uproot. Thank you. Uproot everything that you're doing. You just have to make small pivots in order to create large wins.
Right. Now, mindset was big. Mindset was very important for us because it wasn't the fact that we made more money to get us out of the situation. Is once we started looking at our finances, our mindset started to change and how do we wanted to direct these payments and direct these interest payments. We knew that we wanted those interest payments to come back to us. So in doing that, we started researching ways in which that can happen. And what we came across is whole life insurance, dividend paying whole life insurance. Now, this didn't solve our problem. It's only magnified the problem that we have, the trajectory. Reason being is if we would have kept those same habits that we had using with our credit cards, with our insurance policy, using our insurance policy, we would have wrecked that system also. So what the insurance policy did for us is it magnified what we were already going to do.
And it really, again, once you start raising your hand and asking questions, we wanted to be as strategic as we possibly could. And we also wanted to figure out how can we build wealth in addition to paying off our debt by taking ownership of it. And when we understood these creative financing ways to further our efforts, we recognized that that $2,000 can come back to us with all the principal and interest. And that's going to allow us to do way more than what we were doing before. So again, just understanding one, that mindset. If you're ready to start doing something, then it's about taking the action and educating yourself to do it. The next thing is about the discipline. Like Darius said, when we understood these redirections that we had to make, it was about consistency and being relentless in what we were doing because we knew what it looked like if we didn't do it. And we also recognized too that we didn't want to retire at 65. We wanted to retire a lot sooner and be able to do all the amazing things that we always dreamed of at a younger age. And so that's what kept us on track and allowed us to have the consistency that we had in order to be disciplined and continue to stay on track.
Right. And we knew we couldn't reach those goals by being in debt. So the discipline thing came in to be a really big thing for us because it's one thing to get reminders from the credit card company saying that you have a payment due. But when you start taking over those debts and paying yourself, you don't have a reminder. The only thing you have to rely on is the discipline that you're going to continue to maintain those payments back to yourselves.
Absolutely. And the thing that I would say with the third step is just all about execution, is making sure that you stick to the plan, say exactly what it is that you're going to do, and you execute, which comes back to that consistency. So for us, we had spreadsheets, we had trackers, we had our families and our friends holding us accountable because we knew that both of us wanted to retire from corporate America at a certain age, and we needed to have so much money in the bank in order to do that so that we could create Wealth Nation, we could fund Wealth Nation so that Wealth Nation could be our livelihood. And it really was just all about changing the mindset, creating the discipline, and taking action, which allowed us to do a lot in 4 years. So everything can change for you in just a matter of months if you take the time to do your research and understand exactly what it is that you want to do and take ownership of it. And then the reason, and I want to make sure you hear me clearly, you have to do what you want to do, not what Bob, Jim, and Susie think that you should do. You have to do what you want to do because that's the only thing that you're going to stay true to.
Right. And it was you that got yourself in this situation, and it's not going to be Bobby or Susan that gets you out of it because they can give you the best plan, they can give you the best advice, but you have to be the one to execute.
Absolutely. So if you want to learn how we got out of all of our debt, definitely click on the link above so that you can see all of the repayments and how we only did this with one policy, one premium of $10,000, and it helped us pay off all of our debt. We now have 6 policies. Imagine what we're doing with those. And it just continues to transform what we can do as far as earning compound interest and owning our lifestyle so that we're not a pawn in the financial game.
Right. And also just remember, we will never tell you to contact us in the comments. Always use the link in the description to get in contact with us if you are looking to work with Wealth Nation.
And remember, folks, own your own lifestyle,
or someone else will.